And welcome back to What the Tech. I'm Rolando. And as always, on this podcast, we talk about where business intersects technology. And we like talking to folks that are at the forefront of technology issues. And today, joining me for one of our special podcasts is Aron Sogi, who is a content creator on TikTok and has a lot to say on what it takes to be successful on the platform. Aron has 13 years of experience in the film industry, and he's worked on films such as The Dark Knight Rises, great movie, Murder on the Orient Express, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. He's amassed close to 300,000 followers on TikTok, which is nothing easy to do. He's an all-around great guy. He is an entertainer, a content creator, and then some. But I'm going to let him tell you in his words. Let's welcome to the What the Tech podcast, Aron Sogi.
Thank
Did
you
I
so
get
much.
that right, Aron?
That was beautiful. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to be sharing my little tricks and tips and lessons that I have learned over my career.
Well, I won't ask you about what's the proper temperature to cook a tomahawk steak on a barbecue grill. We'll save that for the next time when we do a collab on
I'll do my
barbecue.
homework in the meantime.
Man, I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with what you've put out on TikTok. There's a lot of folks that are on TikTok, really. There's a ton of people, and there's a ton of people coming on the platform every single day. And there are folks that just put stuff out, turn on the camera, and talk. And there's some folks like yourself that are on another level. And you can't just fabricate that and turn that on from day one. And I'm sure there's a lot of experience from the things you learned in the film industry that you've brought in to your TikToks. And what I'd like you to do is also just tell us what that was like, what that journey was like, because making that transition from the film industry and bringing that over to TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. So my life into real world challenge mission is to bring the cinema film aesthetic challenges. So if you're watching documentaries now, that the aesthetics are improving in the last couple of years, but before that all the documentaries were pretty basic. It's similar to how a lot of people make TikTok videos. They just point a camera, shoot, that's it. No art behind it. So I wanted to build the craftsmanship from Hollywood or that level of filmmaking and bring it to problems like the plastic in the oceans, by us driving wildlife to extinction. So I wanted to bring that visual storytelling into these areas because I think Hollywood is successful, or let's not say Hollywood, but big cinema films or movies are successful because they're following a certain formula and it's done by people at the top of their game. So if we can create that aesthetic and show like, okay, here is a global challenge that we can solve. Let's make the real world unknown heroes just as known as Thor or Batman or the Jedis, right? There are so many heroes that are unknown, and I want to give them that aesthetic just because then the viewers are going to be more engaged. So that's my mission. And because I just answering your question about the transition, I had a full-time income from working on film sets. As a freelancer, so you get 2-day job, 5-day job, 1 month, 4-month jobs. And when I decided to quit because I wanted to make these videos to help the oceans and help and protect animals and clear up the air of pollution, I had no income. So when I quit, the way I quit was I cut back on my living expenses. I saved up 6 months, and then I said, okay, now I can quit. I've got 6 months to build a business. So my priority last year was to build an online business around video education. And I thought the best way to kickstart that business was to give out a ton of free value on a social media platform that is currently has the biggest potential for you to grow on currently, to grow from. And it seemed obvious that for video, zero is TikTok. That's why I picked TikTok, and I decided to just narrow down on one thing and be outstanding on one platform as opposed to post everywhere and try to be everywhere. First, stand out on one platform if you start from zero, and then spread out to other platforms, because the organic reach on TikTok is going down over the next 1 year, whereas on all the other platforms, it's not really changing from this year till next year. That's why I decided to just be super single focused. And that's the reason why I get invitation to podcasts like this. And I've been on like multiple podcasts because I am outstanding on one platform, and you don't care that, Aaron, you have 0 followers on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. because I'm focused on being outstanding here, and then I can spread my wings. So the transition for me was challenging. The process was challenging, but this is what I say to everyone: you don't really want things to be easy. You want it to be meaningful. And once I knew that I'm doing this because I have to build now an income source so that I can go and make those environmental videos, to me it's a meaningful task, even if that meant not taking any time off, putting in all the hours, not seeing the results certain times. I'm building something that I know it's worth building, so it's okay if it gets hard. And most people don't get clear at the beginning of their journey. They don't know if the hardship will be worth it, so people give up. So if you're going to set a big goal,
and so
that means you're going to have to walk on fire.
yeah,
And the one thing you will learn when you walk on fire is that you can burn yourself. So choose a path that is worth walking on.
and so those are cautionary words for folks. I'm sorry, Dave. I'll let you jump in right after this. Those are cautionary tales for folks that want to make that transition to content creator. Be prepared to jump into a fire, and things may not get cooking, really, literally, with money, business, sponsorships, or enough income to really, live like a Kardashian. You may have to reduce your living expenses, like you mentioned earlier, before you see enough revenue or income. Or really, I heard you say the word business, and I like that word, because you want to look at it like a business, because you want it to pay back your time, your effort, your investment, right?
100%. And there are two levels that people don't think of business. There is the level that you need to make a certain amount of money for you to live your life, and anything above that is your choice if you're going to increase your lifestyle, or the rest of the money is just enabling you more time to help more people. So a lot of people have an unhealthy relationship with selling their products and services, because I don't want to come across I'm selling. And I feel like I have the opportunity to help people to bust their limiting beliefs that I just don't have the time and the money for this. That belief is showing up on people's life everywhere. So if I'm jumping on a call and I say, hey, I see that you need what I have to offer, and I have the solution for you, but it's going to cost this much money. And if they say, that's a bit steep, then I feel excited to help them destroy those beliefs that are holding them back in all areas of their life. So I'm not there to sell them something, because the difference, people don't understand this, the difference between influence and manipulation is, are you focusing on what the other person really needs or what you need? If I'm just trying to make more money, I can use the same tactics and manipulate you to buy my services. But if I truly listen and I say, Dave, I listen to you, I see your problems, and that is exactly what we specialize in, and that is exactly what we can help you with. And I know I can deliver this to you. And you say, man, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, then I'm excited to help you overcome those. Right? So then it's no longer a selling, it's a desire for you to experience what you can experience. And what I say to everyone, hey, if it doesn't work, I give you money back. And then it's no longer selling. It's a no-brainer opportunity.
Awesome. Terrific. You know what I got to give to that? Hold on a second. That's what I say to that. I've got my new toy now. You're the first guest that I can roll out these toys. And I know you're such a great sport about it. So I'm going to roll out some of these a little bit more during our conversation. Dave, I know you wanted to jump in here, ask Aron some questions. Go for it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're talking about the filmmaking aesthetics, right? And, there's a lot that goes into very short clips, keeps the viewer engaged. But when I'm watching films, usually it's on the big screen, it's in my living room, but TikTok is the majority on a mobile device. So, what kind of challenges do you have trying to bring that big screen feel into a handheld world?
Yeah, the most important thing to understand is what are the constraints that you're working with. One is a different aspect ratio, because you're not in a cinema film aspect ratio, you're a portrait aspect ratio. So it's not just cropping out the middle of the image, you have to compose your videos differently. But it's the same way you have to compose the videos, just like you're taking a portrait photo of someone. So the other challenge is understanding who your, I'm just going to use the term target audience, or we can say who is it that you're trying to reach with your video. And the person, like, let's say if I wanted to reach Dave with my videos, and I can make a film or I can make a TikTok video, and you're going to be in a very different mindset on both of these platforms when you're going to consume that content. So I have to be respectful of that and mindful of that. Because when you decide to watch my documentary, for example, you have decided you're going to watch it. So you press the play after you're reading the title, the summary, you watch the trailer. I'm going to watch this. So now I have your attention and your curiosity. So I've got a bit more time to build up what I want to tell you. Now on TikTok, I'm arriving in front of you and you don't even know me. You don't know what I have to offer. And you don't even know if you want what I have to offer. So the comparison I always say is the metaphor. Think about you want to go and have food and you're deliberate. I'm going to get Italian tonight. There's this really nice restaurant. We're going to this Italian place and you're going to that place and then you know where you're going. That's like watching a documentary or going on YouTube. Now TikTok is like walking down Chinatown where everybody's like, hey, come, try this, come into this, come. It's a bit like this. So you want to understand that that's what the mindset is of the people that you're trying to speak to. And you have to bring out a different side of yourself. Now, you don't have to change who you are. You just bring out a different side of you. Just like if you're talking to a 5-year-old, you talk differently than you're talking to a 95-year-old that you don't even know. Or if you're at a funeral or a basketball game, you behave different, but it's still you. You're just bringing a different side of you.
Great analogy.
So that's super important to understand. Now, when it comes to aesthetics, I don't think it really makes a big difference. What I would say is you have to adjust your aesthetics to what the audience is expecting in a certain place. If they go into a cinema film and it's TikTok style, raw, handheld phone videos, they're going to be like, what the heck is this? But the same way on TikTok, if you start watching a cinema film quality, aesthetically crafted video, a lot of people tune out because I'm not here to watch those. I do it at home on Netflix or in my home cinema setup, or I go to the cinema. Here I want to see Brad Pitt in the kitchen fooling around with the dog. This is not my time to watch Brad Pitt delivering what they are best at. I want to see the human behind the craft.
Very, very interesting.
Whether it's an actor, whether it's, let's say, for example, let's take a big brand. If you were, I'm just going to use Apple. Let's say Steve Jobs was still around. If he was Apple on Instagram, you want to show the beautiful commercial, highly crafted, $500,000 commercial filmed by the best of the best. Now, what you want to see on TikTok is Steve Jobs talking about, I came up with this idea and, this is my drawings. And you see the person and the process behind the genius shop front. You want to see the behind of what's going on. And that's why, for example, if you look at photographers, the photographers who are crushing it on TikTok are the ones who are showing you the process through an entertaining story and giving value in throughout the video. They're not just showing the beautiful videos. Go on Instagram story and watch these videos of photos just flashing to the music. They have higher views than on TikTok. Because Instagram is a lot more aesthetic focused. So when you go on Instagram, you are in that world, that aesthetic world. But when you go over to TikTok, now you don't want to see those pretty photos. I want you to show me how you created those pretty photos and tell me the story, how you came up with it and what's the process, and let me enter your world. That's it.
Let me ask you something, Aron, because you've hit on something that I'm really curious about. So, as whether you're a brand, like you're talking about Apple, or even a smaller business, or even an individual, you're trying to find an audience. And right now, the audience is going to TikTok, right? They had the most view time and the most downloaded apps in the last year. When you're looking at that as a business is kind of looking at the social media landscape, Do you say, hey, the attention's on TikTok, so therefore we're going to invest all of our time or a lot on TikTok because maybe there isn't a lot of crossover anymore and it's segmented where somebody says, I'm just consuming TikToks from now on? Or is that the wrong approach where people are still on TikTok, on YouTube, as well as on Instagram? Are they consuming all of these platforms, or there's just now TikTok is the lion's share now?
I would say that's the new click kid on the block. So a lot of people are keeping their eyes on. But as you know, I'm sure you felt this, you don't want to learn everything on TikTok. Sometimes like I just want a 10-minute slow step-by-step guide. So you go to YouTube. So I wouldn't say that these platforms necessarily competing with each other. The one thing everybody's competing for is attention. Right. But it doesn't matter if you have a real shop front or you have a product or service, is attention everybody is fighting for. So what I would say right now, if you're starting from zero as a business, TikTok is the one to put most of your time into. So I would put, let's say, 70 to 80% of your time into TikTok, then start building 20% LinkedIn, Clubhouse, whatever else is coming up right now or whatever else is there. If you already have an established YouTube channel or an already established Instagram, don't neglect that now and the community there and now migrate to TikTok. Add TikTok in, but take it seriously because right now your growth potential is still huge on TikTok. And if you do it the smart and elegant way, you can give people a reason to follow you on these different channels because you have to offer something that is different than you offer it on TikTok. The mistake I see is, hey, follow me on Instagram, and you see the exact same thing. It's like, okay. But for example, on my live, I would say, if you want to see like behind the scenes into my life, like day to day, what I get up to, check out my Instagram story. That's where I'm most active. That's where you can find that. You don't find it on TikTok. Now you have a reason to go over to Instagram story if you're interested. And I can say, okay, here are the 3 biggest mistakes everybody's making on TikTok. 1, 2, 3. By the way, I have 7 more in my latest YouTube video. That's it.
And so you would do the crossover.
So now you give people a reason.
So let's say I'm doing a TikTok about, I don't know, I'm doing photography and I'm showing the process, and you would say, based on what you said, I could interact or not interact, but I would include in that video, if you want to see more about how I shot this video, go over to my YouTube where I have the whole full feature.
Exactly. Now, the important thing is that the most of the TikTok video has to give value and has to be about you getting value on that, your viewer getting value on that platform. So I've seen people who make a teaser to, you want to know how to do this? Really? Ready? Go to YouTube. Then I'm ready to find them and twist their ears because you want to give value, and then you say if you want more or you want to consume it in a different fashion, then check out this or that. For example, I can say, hey, if you're enjoying these tips, now you may be driving in the morning and you can still consume these tips. Jump on my podcast on Spotify. You can put it on the car and you can still consume these tips while you're driving, while you're listening. It's a different way of consuming information. So if you have to offer that, then you mention it. But the purpose of the video is not to tell people to go over there. You give so much value and then you mention, hey, you can also do it here and there. Then you're more likely to go over because it doesn't feel like a promotion.
Aaron, I want you to say that again. Ori, this is a pro tip. Give us a pro tip so that Aaron could let the people know about it. Hit us again with value, because I think that's the understated thing that I've heard, but you nailed it on the head. Go ahead.
About value, the most important thing that every single piece of content you put out has to give value. And if you want people to take action in the form of go and check out the link, go over to Instagram, go anywhere and do anything, you want to first give value and give people a reason to go. Because what most people are doing is, let's say that you did give value to me in the video, and then you say, oh yeah, drop a comment below. There is no reason for me to drop a comment below. But if you say, would you prefer A or B? Drop a tick if it's a yes and a cross if it's a no. I give you 2 options or 2 words. Now it's easy for you to decide A or B, and then you're going to drop it in. Or if I make a bold statement, there is no way to fit a podcast into 1 hour and give value. What do you guys think? So I make a bold statement and then I ask opinion. So now I'm giving people a reason to go down. Or I can say, I gave you value, and I say, if you want to know how to decide how far you should be from your camera when you're filming, check out the bonus comment. So now I give you a reason, but I already give you so much value that even if you don't do the action, you still feel like, whoa, this was awesome. And if you consistently do that, then people will know you, that no matter where and how you get in front of them, whether it's a video, a podcast, anything, they will learn something amazing. And it's not going to be a sales pitch into a sales funnel or an upsell into something. You're going to learn so much. And if you want to go deeper in any way or shape or form, you can do, but it's just if you want to. It's a very laid back way of doing it.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Ding, 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 ding. Awesome stuff,
The trend.
Aron. You are
trend.
you are the man, boy. You are dropping bombs on these tips. Dave, I saw your face. You got something you want to throw at Aron?
When I'm watching a TikTok video, whether it's produced from the hills or something that's just someone that turned on their phone and they were sharing a thought, maybe did minimal editing, I'm always looking for that value added piece. And then if they're able to provide me value, I give them a like, I'll share it, or I'll subscribe. But I have a question about when you're working with clients that might be on YouTube or they might be on Instagram and they're coming into TikTok. How important is that first video? I've heard that the way that the algorithm is built is that when someone creates a TikTok account and they post the first videos, that first video goes out to more viewers. Is there any truth behind that? And do you work that into your strategy with your clients when they're producing that first TikTok video?
The way I look at the first TikTok video is just freaking get going. That's how I look at it. It's just make it happen. I don't care how it turns out. Just make it happen. Take the first step, and then we'll start correcting. Now, let me ask you this question: from a TikTok's business model, does it make sense for them to give a little extra boost on the first video? Does it make sense? You think?
It does. I think so.
Well, to give a boost or to receive a boost? If I knew that our first video was going to go out to 10 times the amount of people than the first video, I think we would have been more aware of that, and we weren't.
Okay, sure. Okay, I would say that in my experience, there is the truth to this, but it's not like the very first one, but one of the first few that you put out. So you put out 4 videos, let's say, and one has like 10 times more views than your average view count, which was 200. So you get way more views in one video, but it's 1,000. So you get a lot more views than that kind of video currently is getting. But it doesn't mean you put out one video and be careful because this can go out to 100,000 people. It's very unlikely unless you are ticking all the boxes for how to make a proper TikTok video that is set up to win. It's like it ticks all the boxes that is important. If that video is doing it, then you can have very high views. But I would say it's very unlikely for an unknown person's first video to really go big. And what I mean by that is if it's David Beckham doing it, yes, he has a much higher chance than somebody who's not famous or is not a celebrity. Because nobody has seen you before. Whereas if let's say you're on TikTok and you've never seen Jay-Z on TikTok and you see Jay-Z like, oh wow, Jay-Z's got an account. Now you're going to engage because it's the new first thing from Jay-Z.
Right.
And what do you say about, speaking of that, so if let's say you've already created a few videos, let's say you're past to your 4 or 5, 10, and then you see this thing on TikTok, oh, I can promote my videos so that more people can see it. What's your thoughts on that, about the promoted feature that is on TikTok?
Yeah. So I've got 2 takes on this. The first one is just because that video has high views, it doesn't mean that you necessarily want to promote it. If you made that video in a way that it's getting you the outcome that you want, so I want everybody to think of TikTok like a tool. It's just a tool, nothing else. No need to glorify it. It's a tool. What do you use that tool for? What's your goal? Is your goal to get more followers? Is that truly your end goal? If you had 1 million followers right now above your name, would you be fulfilled and happy? Or you want more followers because that will mean you can make more impact? Or you want more followers because you can make more money eventually? Or you want, like, what is it that what the tool is for. Let's say my goal would be to get signatures to a petition. Just let's make this up. If that video is getting high views and it's accomplishing my outcome or supporting it, then I think it's worth boosting it. Just because it's getting high views and it's giving you more followers, I wouldn't boost it unless you are ready now to keep paying. Because guess what happens? Think of it from a business perspective. You are TikTok. Somebody promoted a video. They're getting more results. They paid you. Clearly, they have the money. Now, what is obvious for them to do for your future videos if you're not paying? What are they going to do?
Suppress them. Perhaps suppress.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So this happens to a lot of people.
Is that right? So let's say, let's double down on what you just said. So I go ahead and boost a video. It gets 1 million views. Just to hypothetically say it's a million views. And on previous to that, I got 10,000 views per video, right? And what you're saying is that after boosting one video that got 1 million views, I may not go back to that average of 10,000 views again. I may go to something lower.
Yeah. It would drop.
Wow.
Now the great thing is that every video is treated separately, right? Every video is treated separately. So just because your floor dropped, it doesn't mean that you couldn't have a video that pops to 500,000. Because again, there is all these elements in this web from a business perspective. If you just think common sense, if that video you put out next is so engaging that everybody's watching till the end, everybody's commenting, everybody's sharing it, that means that you're keeping eyeballs and you're bringing eyeballs to the platform. That's why sharing is important, because when you share it, people click on it, it brings them to the platform. So if you make a video like that, it makes no sense from a business perspective for them to suppress it just because you haven't paid. Well, they will suppress the next one that is not performing as well, so your floor will drop down.
I see. Hey, let me ask you one other question, because we're dancing around something that I want to ask you about, which is the analytics side. Do you spend much time looking at the analytics on your video? I know that TikTok, for example, I noticed just recently, I looked at my iPhone, and the analytics it presents me, it's different than on Android. It doesn't give me the same information. It presents it a little bit different. And actually on the iPhone, it gives me the retention time in a graph. So I can see exactly when people are dropping off. You don't get that in the Android. Android just gives you the raw percentage, like 25% watch the whole video. And then on the iPhone, it gives you that as well as a graph, so you can see where your viewers are dropping off. How much time should somebody invest in looking at the analytics to determine this is the message that's working well, this is what's not working well? Or because of the way TikTok works, is where it's serving up videos to new people all the time, is that even worth looking at?
So what I would say to that is a fairly new feature that exactly telling you when people are dropping off and how many people come from, how many followers you get from a video. That's a new feature, and newest features are rolled out to iPhones normally first, because there's only one type of like iPhone is just one type, whereas Android, you've got so many different brands. So TikTok is prioritizing and optimizing everything for iPhones first. So it's being rolled out. Gotcha. So that will come to Android later on. When it comes to analytics, here is what I would encourage everybody to do. Look at the average watch time on all your videos and find a number. Mine is 23 seconds. And I will bet that yours is something similar, because it's not really a reflection of what I do. It's a reflection of consumer behavior on that platform. So I deliberately making my videos way shorter than I used to make them. Now, my best performing videos are still at 1 minute. So if you can keep giving value and keep engaging the viewers and break it into like, okay, I'm going to give you value. You want this end result? It's 3 steps. Step 1 is this. So if somebody wants that end result, they have to listen till the end. Okay, so the first one is I deliberately reduced the seconds. Like I'm deliberately making it shorter, but it doesn't mean everything has to be 23 seconds. But I'm like, if it's 30 seconds, what can I cut out? Can I cut out a sentence somewhere and bring it down to be closer to 23 seconds just for me? And if it's a 1 minute video, it used to be, now I'm aiming to bring it down to 45 seconds. So I'm deliberately shortening it. And people would argue that TikTok is introducing now the 3 minute, the 10 minute. Clearly you want to be making longer videos. But I don't want to make longer videos just because TikTok introduced a new feature. I want to make the videos that has the highest chance to get me the results that I want to get. And that's based on consumer behavior, not availability of features on a platform. Okay.
Right. So
the second metric that I, please.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
The second metric is something that I've seen a few places and I found it very true, is the 10% rule. So if you get 10,000 views on a video, that should give you at least 1,000 likes and at least 100 followers. So if you have that 10% rule, if you can keep that up, it's great. If you get higher than that, that is like you're getting into the unicorn territory. It's like so hard to get above that.
Get ready for a pro tip.
Aron, go ahead and give us something a little bit more about this 10% rule that you got when it comes to TikTok.
Yeah, the 10% rule is something that I have heard of, I read it, and I found it very true in my videos. If you're getting, let's just say 10,000 views on a video, you want to have at least 10% of that to be likes. So 10,000 views is 1,000 likes, and 10% of that is 100. That's how many followers you want to get from a video. This is, if you can hit that level consistently on most of your videos, 80% of your videos, you're going to grow super fast, and that's the sweet spot. If you're getting, like, what I check is, let's say there's been like 5 hours since I posted a video, and I'm looking at, okay, how many views did it get? 5,000. How many people are liking it? 500. Perfect. If it's only 300 people are liking it, then I would just analyze the video, not the analytics, but okay, how, like my hook, was it clear who this video is for? Was I clear what the problem is that I'm trying to solve? Was I fast enough? Now, this is a new analytic that TikTok has introduced, is something that you mentioned about, is now you can see the dropout exactly. When do people drop out of the video? And I want everybody to go to your analytics. Easiest thing, you're on your video, bottom right where you have the share button, you will see 3 dots on your own account. Click on that, go to analytics, scroll to the very bottom, and there you're going to see exactly when people are dropping out. And I can tell you right now, 50% of the people are gone within 2 to 3 seconds.
And this is what you're finding on your own videos as well?
If it's a high-performing video, it's only 40% who are gone, not 50%. That's because you're down to 25%. That's it. People decide in 2 to 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. So everybody remember this. You've got 2 to 3 seconds to make it very clear who this video is for, what the problem is, and to create curiosity. If you're getting low views on TikTok, try this. This was 2 seconds. It's clear who the video is for, what the problem is, and I created curiosity. That video, I know just by the type of hook, it will have a better retention rate. And now it's an art for you to keep people's attention throughout the video so they don't drop out thinking this is going to be a poor tip or you're going to take too long.
All right. So, Aron, I want to ask you this because you just hit another thing I wanted you to come out with, because you do this so well on your videos. I'm going to ask you to give us 2 or 3 hooks that you know are rock solid hooks that people can use. But before you do,
Here comes a pro tip.
all right, give us those rock solid hooks that you know are working on your videos.
So I would say the most important thing with your hooks within the first 2 to 3 seconds, who the video is for, what the problem is, and create curiosity. These are the 3 things that you have to make sure that you're hitting on your videos. Now, if you can use and frame it in the negative, you will get a bit more retention.
Like how?
So instead of saying, if you want to do this, okay, stop. For example, stop going live on TikTok like an amateur.
Ooh, I like that one.
Right?
I like that
For
one.
example. Or stop recording your videos inside TikTok. Instead, try this. So there is a very powerful hook. Stop doing something and instead try something else. Or don't do this, do something else instead, right? And you don't want to tell them what it is. You just say, try this, or this is why, or here is how, because that's an invitation to the video. Okay, so one powerful hook
what I
is
gotta say about
stop doing something.
Awesome.
Okay, stop doing something and instead try this. Okay, don't make this mistake. Or you can use words like steal this technique from me to get more views. Okay, using the word "you" twice in the hook, it will increase your effectiveness by 96%.
Oof. Oof.
Okay, you can make your videos stand out by. Well, let me think about this. Yeah, you can get more video. You can get more views on your videos just by implementing this one simple trick. You can make your videos, that's very powerful. So you want to make sure that people who are watching, they feel like it's something for them. Like Dave was saying, Dave is looking for the value. If I say, here is how you can make your podcast reach 10 times more people, then try this website. And then I talk about, then I give you the value. Okay, but if I say, here's a great website that I really like using in my business because it really helped me to get 10 times more viewers to my podcast, guess what happened? The keyword podcast has landed at the end of the sentence and people are way gone by the time you said the word podcast, and all the people who want podcast tips did not know these videos about podcasts. So what you want to do is restructure your hook so the keywords at the beginning of your hook. If you just started your podcast, here's the biggest mistake people make. Instead of saying the biggest mistake people make when starting a new podcast, the keyword is too far away. Go look at your analytics, wherever you're listening, 2 to 3% people are gone. The word podcast is beyond the 2 to 3% mark. And if you say the word podcast, like you guys will be triggered, like, oh, I'm going to listen. If I say the word, here's how to use your barbecue even if you don't have time, then, I know that, you are primed to listen to this. If you're a single mom, right? If you're a podcaster, if you're starting out on YouTube, if you're starting out on TikTok, when people can identify with the hook, they are more likely to listen at least till the end of your hook, because people don't even listen till the end of your hook. That's the era we live in. Welcome to TikTok.
Can you apply that to videos that have already been made? So if I had a channel, I have 50 videos, and then I've listened to you speak, and I'm like, you know what? I want to apply that. I know I could apply it to new videos that I make, but could I go back to the 50 videos that I have and maybe create a new thumbnail, a beginning page, and add that text with audio reading that text behind it, instead of recreating the 50 videos that I already have?
Are you asking specifically about TikTok? Like on TikTok?
Specifically for TikTok, I did 50 videos. I have very low viewership and followers. I'm listening to you. I'm like, I think Aron's onto something. Can I go back to some of the videos that I have, change the first image, put some of that text and caption behind it that's, saying you, or some of that that kind of negative bias, stop doing this. It's not helping you, whatever it might be. But do you think you can take your advice and apply it to something that's already been created with just graphics and captions?
I wouldn't say you can do it effectively. Probably with voiceover you can. Like you can record yourself just having a surprised look, just like a YouTube thumbnail, and you have the text and the voiceover of you saying out that hook, and then you show the rest of your video. Now, be mindful that it's now more or less a little bit like a repost, because TikTok is analyzing with AI that has this video been posted already, and if they can see that most of your video has already been here, they would treat it slightly differently. It doesn't mean they want that you cannot get high views. I encourage everyone to look at the past as a place where you learned lessons and go forward. Instead of trying to spend time, how can I repurpose my old content and trying to make it work with the new tips? Just make new tips. But what I would say is use footage from the old content and hook people in with what I said, and then show the different type of footages while you are, let's say, doing a voiceover. So it's very quick to make. I'll give you an example. I record myself saying the hook, which is like 5 seconds, max 4 seconds. I recorded a video. And then I put this into my editing timeline. And I just use different clips from older videos, and now I'm just recording a voiceover and narrating things and giving value. That's how I would repurpose older content. But I'm a big believer in, you learn this lesson, keep going forward. If you look at my content, you were saying it, clearly it has come a long way and it's evolving. I like seeing that evolvement. And if I want to work with someone, for example, then I say, hey, you think that I have great energy? Look at my first videos. I sounded like a boring slow motion machine. You gain the confidence. You gain the confidence, the enthusiasm along the way. You get used to talking on camera, talking to an inanimate object. You will get used to it and you get better at it. And it's great for yourself to look back and see, man, my videos a year ago. Wow, I came a long way. That's awesome. But if you delete them, then yeah.
What do you do? I want to ask you this because you've had a lot of success on the platform, and you clearly put time, effort. It looks like you script some of the stuff because you have to plan some of what you do. It just comes off very polished. I don't think you could just go on and turn on your iPhone and start talking, right? So you clearly plan out your strategy on your videos. How do you feel when some videos just don't get the views or the performance based on what you've already accomplished in the past? So how do you deal with that? Because that happens to all of us, right? You clearly pour your heart and soul into something, and it doesn't take off like some of the other ones. Like I love the animated one where you have this monkey banana guy come to your door and knock, and I think it's hilarious. And it's not one of the more. It doesn't have the big views on it like some of your other stuff. And I know that you had to put energy and effort into at least that kind of video. And you probably were expecting it to do better because you're like, I'm going to try this animated stuff, see if it, takes off. And it didn't perform like some of the other stuff.
Before I answer that specific example, I would just talk about February. February, I had 130,000 followers and I grew 1,000 followers in 1 month. Now, once you're at beyond 130,000 followers, you have slightly higher expectations for the number of followers you can gain in a month. 1,000 followers. How did I feel? Freaking excited. Why? Because I know what I'm about. I love growing, learning, and giving and helping. So anything that happens is just an opportunity for me to learn something and to help people. So here's how I looked at it. This is called a plateau, Aron. And it's awesome you experiencing it because you've got so many clients who have or are or will experience plateaus. And now you can reflect how that feels when things are not working. And the most important thing is know your vision. This is what I'm here to create. Know your why. Here is why I'm doing it and nothing's going to stop me, and find a way to enjoy the creation process because I loved every video that I made that month. It was just not getting the numbers. I cannot control the numbers. I can control my vision. I can control my why. I can control the process, enjoying it. I can control consistency. And I know that, you know what? Every time I didn't get the numbers, I just said, all right, you're asking me how bad I want it. Well, I'm about to show you. Because every time you're not giving me the numbers, I'm going to get better. And the reason why I have the videos currently performing, that my floor is now up to like 30,000, 30,000 is my floor now. It used to be 5,000. It's because I wasn't getting the numbers. It was a gift. And I'm grateful that I had those low numbers because when you're not getting the results you want, you have the opportunity to self-reflect or self-beat yourself up, which is most people are doing. The Self-Beaters Club has full-time membership of one member. Cancel that membership. They will go out of business. And you're going to be flying.
Love it.
That's great.
Now, back to the monkey video. Back to the monkey video.
Oh, my. Love it. I love it, man. I love the creativity. I love the energy. You didn't make yourself the star. You made the ape the star of this particular clip.
And here is what I got to say. It made both of you smile. 20,000 people have watched this video. Yeah, it's lower than what other videos. 20,000 people is almost like a half. Like 20,000 people, I think it's the NBA finals. You've got 20,000 people in there. It's a freaking stadium full of people, and we forget that behind the numbers there are human beings just like yourself. And here's what's beautiful: I've got a 2-year-old brother, and he loved it. It was already worth my time. He loved it. He is like, best thing ever. So You know, it's
the-
perspective. It's knowing what really matters. And I know why it didn't work well.
So you don't let the fact that it didn't get as much views as some of the other ones where you've
I
clearly,
told you already.
you got
I
100,
told you already.
200,000.
I told you already the answer. Based on our conversation, you could figure out why this video is not performing well. At
Yeah,
what
yeah.
second does the monkey appear?
He goes beyond the 3 seconds.
That was the biggest challenge. I said, how can I hook people in just with a 2 second, max 3 seconds hook and then show the monkey? Because I wasn't sure how can I just start with the monkey and it still be funny of somebody knocking in. But I may re-upload it just with starting with a knock, and all it is, it's just me going and then straight to the door, because then it's quicker to the monkey.
Love it.
So I'm going to upload that later on, cut that off, and see how that works.
Love it.
And I've done that with Will Smith. I made a Will Smith video, uploaded. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, it got
Almost a
maybe,
million. It's on there.
50. That was the third post.
There it is.
I reposted it 3 times. I made tweaks. Each time, minor tweaks. I cut out 0.2 seconds here. I deleted 0.2 seconds there, just the first few seconds. And I hooked people in better. So the first one got 30,000, the second one got 60,000, and the third one got 1 million.
So it's critical. I'm talking what I hear from you. If we were going to, hold on a second, I'm going to push the button myself.
Get ready for a pro tip.
If it's critical, you need to have those first 3 seconds absolutely be the reason why somebody must watch that video. Otherwise, like you said, second number 4, it's too late. You've missed a lot of people who would have seen the video if you'd have brought that stuff in within the first 3 seconds of the video.
And if you can start with an interesting visual, you can hook more people in, because a lot of people are watching it while they're on the bus, while they're in school, while they're at work, while they're on their partner. You never know where people are, and watching it on silent. So you want to make sure that if it was a monkey animation, they'd be like, oh, that's interesting. And they would just watch it even silently and read it. But if it's a white dude going like, here's how to get higher, low views on TikTok. Oh, I've seen thousands of these guys today. Right?
Right.
So you want to be mindful of that as well.
So, Aaron, we want to do a rapid fire. We're going to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
No right or wrong answer here. Podcasting.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Cold calling.
Thumbs down.
Trade shows.
Thumbs up.
LinkedIn.
Thumbs up.
Instagram.
Thumbs up.
TikTok.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Facebook.
Thumbs down.
Twitter.
Thumbs up.
And lastly, on the thumbs up and thumbs down, Pinterest.
Thumbs down.
It gets a thumbs down from Aron on this one. So that's the thumbs up or thumbs down.
All right. So, short questions: ale or stout?
Stout.
Your favorite app on your phone.
Aura.
Aura. Okay. All right.
Sleep
Aura.
tracker.
Awesome.
What's your favorite place to eat in London?
I'm just gonna go boring and pret-a-manger for now. Pret is like a higher quality takeaway food, like sandwiches, juices. It's
Okay.
just a great on-the-go, quick, healthy snack. And I mostly eat at home and cook, so rarely eat out.
Oh, you mostly at home. Okay, cool. That's cool. I've been doing a lot of that the last 2 years myself. More at home or
I'm coming to
or
your
takeout.
barbecuing.
Yeah, that's. I'm telling you, I'm inviting you to my barbecue TikTok collab type thing. So when that gets going, I'm gonna tap you for that.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Who is your favorite content creator right now? When you look at the landscape, there's so many of them. Some that have been around for a while and keep growing, and some that are newcomers. Who would you say is your favorite right now?
There are so many creators that are, they're great for certain things, but I will go with Zach King. Zach King.
Zach King, he's good.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of Gary's content.
Gary
of
V?
course, Gary V's. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about can we call Gary content creator? Like,
Yeah,
I
well, of
guess
course,
it's all about
he's creating
right?
content.
Well, in that sense, everybody's a content creator, right?
Yeah, everybody's a content creator.
Let's go with Gary. That is in the content creation space. Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't be from a puristic standpoint, like he's purely an influencer and he's, standing in front of the cameras just creating video, right? It's obviously it's more documenting, like he says, I document the experience and then, his team cuts it up and puts it online.
I would also add Sam Calder, just because his visual style, travel videographer. I think he really changed the game for travel videography. Like his aesthetics and his lifestyle videos, they started a whole movement, and I think that that is really a huge sign that what you have done is making an impact. It's not just your style; everybody wants that style now. So. Yeah, Sam Calder.
Everybody's copying it. Everybody's copying well, I think you're ahead of your game, especially on TikTok, because as people become more aware of what you're doing, there'll be more. I've seen a smattering or two right now of TikToks that have taken some of your cues on how you're presenting and how you're doing some of your captions with the different colors and whatnot. Not a lot, but that the fact that I've already seen a few that have that style tells me that you already are influencing the marketplace of ideas, which is that content creation side. So kudos to you. You know what? Kudos to you. Oh man, Aron, we could spend a whole lot of time here, but I want to wrap it up with one last round. We don't call it a rapid fire. But this is underrated, overrated, and must-haves. Okay, this is right up your wheelhouse, stuff that you probably use or in that space. So overrated, underrated, and must-have. These are just a few. Ring light, underrated, overrated, must-have.
So overrated. It's a ripoff. Do not buy a ring light. If you have a ring light, watch my videos. You can get the best out of it. But if you don't own a ring light, do not buy one. It's a bad ripoff. Okay, 13 years industry experience in lighting. Yeah. I have never seen a ring light in action apart from on one music video, which was deliberately in a dark club for a stylistic wide angle lens look for the rapper. That's it. It's not a beauty light. It's sold as a beauty light. It does not create beautiful lighting on the face. It looks interesting because it's a ring, but it's not a great light source for your face. So Clearly, I'm not getting any ring light sponsors. Way overrated.
They're not coming to you, but I got a couple other ones here. iPhone for videos.
Underrated.
Android for videos.
Overrated. If there's such thing.
Overrated. External microphones for videos.
Must have.
And I think I know your answer to this next one. The Moment app.
The Moment app, way underrated.
Okay. And here's our last two. Visco app.
It's a must-have. It's a must-have.
And then lastly, scripted videos.
Underrated. You don't have to script all your videos, but I think most of your videos is worth making it scripted for TikTok so you can keep everything very short.
Awesome. Aron, you've done terrific. I absolutely love it. I could spend 3 more hours talking to you about all things TikTok and everything else. But before we go, if people want to check you out and they want to follow you, they want to connect with you, hey, I need some coaching or something like that. I need to blow up, or I want to figure out how this all works, and they want more advice from you. How should they go about doing that?
Yeah, just head over to my TikTok, Aron Sogi. That's my handle. You can find me there. You click on the link in the bio, and you'll always see the ways that you can learn from me or work with me or join a community. And right now, as of yesterday, I just made my hook template free. So that is one of the most powerful tools that I put together. It's free. Go through it. That will change your TikTok game forever. It's so powerful.
Awesome. I've seen that ebook, by the way. I highly recommend it as well. It's wonderful stuff, and you could tell you put a lot of energy and time into that ebook. Awesome. Well, Aron, thank you for coming today. We really appreciate your time. Dave, anything else you wanted to to say to Aaron while we have him here?
You know what? I just wanted to let you know, thank you for everything. I've actually just started using the Moment app, and I think that is an underrated application. So thanks for the advice on that.
My
I've
pleasure.
started using it myself.
Well done.
All
Well
right.
done. Glad to hear that.
Anything else you want to say? Any parting words, Aaron?
Just give. No expectations. And then you're going to become a blessing for people and your life will be blessed. Just give. No, I'm not giving because then I can make money. I'm not giving because then maybe I can collaborate with this person. Just give and fall in love with the act of giving and seeing another person light up, because that will create more fulfillment than any money that you can make as a back of a transaction if you have expectations attached to your giving.
Well said, Aaron. I really appreciate your time today and all of what you've brought to the table for our audience today. So thank you very much. You'd be what, the Obi-Wan Kenobi? Who would you be? No, you were on Last Jedi, right?
I learned a lot from Yoda. I learned a lot from Yoda.
Yeah, you'd be Yoda.
when,
So Yoda, Master
I
Yoda.
learned a lot from him.
From the young Jedi to Master Yoda. Thank you very much.
There is no try.
Thanks for listening to What the Tech. Be sure to check out our other episodes featuring awesome tech and amazing guests. Find them on circuitloops.com or wherever you consume your favorite podcasts.